how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Den. This is from 2013, directed by Zach Donohue, and stars Melaine Papalia, David Schlachtenhaufen, and Adam Shapiro. And this is one of those, I believe they're called screen life movies, the subgenre of found footage that takes place primarily on a computer screen. And if you guys are sticklers for the rules, there are a few parts in this movie that do jump to other found footage formats, like a cell phone or a security camera, but it's mainly inside the computer screen. And I know some people are big fans of this genre. I personally, while I do love found footage, never really got into screen life, but I get that people love it. And if you guys are big screen life people, you'll probably like this one fine enough. Again, as someone who's not huge into it, I thought the movie was okay, but nothing super special, and definitely had its problems. But before we get too far into that, what's the movie about? No major spoilers, but basically you get this girl and she's applying for a grant from her university to study the website called The Den, which is basically like chat roulette. The idea here is you go on with your webcam and it will pair you up with some random stranger in the world, and you'll get to have a chat with someone you don't know, and they could be anywhere. And if you guys have seen chat roulette compilations, you can tell what they were pulling from. People playing fun practical jokes, a few inappropriate ones, and some just goofy moments here. But of course, she's going to meet the wrong one. And that is one of my big gripes, is there's no real scale, you know? Like in The House is October Built, it starts off where they're having fun, but then they proceed farther and farther, knowing that there's a possibility of some danger and proceeding anyway for the sake of the documentary. Here it's just all fun and games until suddenly it isn't, and I do wish there was a better sense of scale and dread, but whatever. The creepy profile pops up, and it's a picture of this girl, her webcam's not turned on, and she starts text chatting with her, and after a while, the webcam does turn on. It's the girl from the profile picture getting murdered, and she goes to the world's most useless police officer who says, oh, it's probably a joke, don't worry about it. But once she has drawn this evil group's eye, she's going to be the new target for their violence and harassment. And yeah, there's also a case of, I don't think this is how computers work, because once she just has this random conversation with them, well, they're basically in now. They didn't trick her into doing anything she shouldn't have, you know, like they don't get in by tricking her to give information, and they don't trick her into downloading anything she shouldn't. It's just once she has this conversation, they're in her laptop. And honestly, watching this movie, I thought for a minute that they were gonna be like a ghost or something, because like that's the only way to explain just how easy everything falls into their path. Like, I'm gonna know who your friends are and where they live as well. I guess maybe they're just internet benders or something, but yeah, no, you just talk to them and now it's a game over for you. They're going to stalk you, harass you, and pick off your friends, and it will build to a pretty fun and exciting ending. And as I said earlier, the movie's just kind of okay, and I think a large part of that is there's not really much motivation for anything that goes on in this movie. Like, your main character, she's getting this grant, and you don't really know why she cares about this chat roulette-like site. You know, is there anything that happened in her personal history that made her interested in the internet? Is there anything that's going to motivate her to keep pursuing this? Like, we don't really know anything about her, and you really should have given her motivation. And then, like, all her friends are basically one note. You know, her boyfriend loves her and wants to be with her more. The nerd feels a little underappreciated and maybe jealous, and you know, her sister loves her as well and is having a baby. Like, there's not really much of a plot or character for anybody in this movie. They're just kind of what they are, and they're just kind of there. are. And the same goes for the bad guys. And you could say, oh, the bad guys, you're not supposed to know much about them because they're a mystery and they're supposed to be unmotivated. And I get that, but I do want to remind you there's a difference between Michael Myers and the killer from Final Exam. You can have things be unmotivated and things be mysterious and you don't know why things are going on, but there needs to be a story there. Michael Myers had a story. You don't know why he clicked off, but you did hear about the little kid that just snapped one day. And these people are just there killing people, and it's pretty generic. And I want a story, even if it is supposed to be random and mostly unknown. You do need to give me a hook. And yeah, no, it's just a girl doing this for some unknown reason, clashing with a group that's going to kill her for some unknown reason. And again, there are the little problems, like the villains just having everything handed to them. Computers will work their way and the law will look the other way and everything will be super easy for them. And then like, yeah, the grant did bug me because like how much money is the school giving her to just be on chat roulette all day? Like this experiment really shouldn't cost too much. You know, you need a laptop and some software. And yeah, maybe if you're trying to be on there as much as possible, then you'll miss some days of work. But like a college grant, you know, okay, I guess maybe it is plausible because colleges love wasting their money on stupid stuff, but it doesn't make your character super likable because there's a bunch of poor, starving college kids, and this is the money that the university milked from them that you're using to play chat roulette all day. And then she also says she hates cats. Like, what kind of lead character is this? I do want to say, though, that when we get to the end, the movie does really heat up, and there is a bunch of cool atmospheric sets, there's some running around, and it is pretty action heavy. Honestly, it feels like the movie randomly turned into a VHS segment. It really doesn't match what came before it, but it is fun and exciting, and I definitely paid way more attention towards the end. Is like, whoa, okay, this is really heating up here. But that being said, I can only get into it so much because there is an incredible shaky cam here, which granted is realistic, because if you give someone a webcam and tell them to run through an abandoned building, that's not going to be the smoothest thing ever. And there's also like low frame rates and low resolution, which again would be realistic, but is not the best thing ever to watch. But whatever, I did like that it heated up towards the end, and that really bumped it up from just being a mindless B-movie to having a segment that granted doesn't fit with anything else, but a segment that I will remember. So overall, I found this fun enough. I really wish they had worked to give our main character a story and our villains something a little more unique, but as it stands, it's an okay B-side, and if you're into Screen Life, you'll get a little something out of it. Not a huge recommendation, but not terrible either. The right crowd might like it. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my found footage playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about other found footage movies like The Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, or VHS, you should be able to find a ton of them in here. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.